It has been a while. It has been a while. I know, I know. But peace, peace, family. So we back with another one. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to live stream thing from inside this time. It has been a little tweaked out every other time I've been trying it and to get in here. But today what I wanted to do is I wanted to discuss these attacks are real. These attacks are real. They are not self-sabotage. I know we are some of the most accountable beings around, but these attacks are extremely real. You know what I mean? And once you get hit with enough weight, you'll slowly start to understand and it'll slowly start to remove the fog and become more clear, and you'll be more understanding that these attacks are real. It is really happening to you. You know what I mean? So like I know a lot of the times like we kind of bypass things because we think, oh, system, bigger, broader, like monstrous, just whatever that word is, just something astronomical, you know what I mean? But once you get past constantly solely thinking, okay, the system, everything that's far out that you cannot change, start processing the things you can change. The things that you can change in your environment and the things around you is the same way the beings around you can affect your life and your energy as well too. You know what I mean? So all of this plays a factor into it, every single piece of it. So like I had kind of been down a little bit myself because without with you, I had been down a little bit myself because I've been under extremely large amount of text recently. So just even outside of the technology, tweaking and doing its own thing, just beings around me being used, and it don't always feel good, when you have beings around you that are claiming to be working on themselves, but then they're being used as a vessel by the opposition to kind of tweak your life, to tweak your energy, to tweak things that you got going on that you trying to build upon, you know what I mean? So it's like the way these attacks been falling, right? And I only come to this subject today because I've been under a shit ton of attacks. When I say shit ton, like I don't even care where they coming from. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's good to see me too. I appreciate it because I swear they've been trying to take my life. And y'all know me, shit, we gonna ride this thing till the wheels fall off. But, you know, when the attacks start getting that serious, when people are trying to take your life and take you out, you know what I mean? It becomes very challenging on whether you want to be complacent and just shut the fuck up and listen, or whether you're gonna continue to stand solid in the space that you in. You know what I mean? And like it's easy to talk and say these things until your life is the one that's being put on the line in real lifetime. You know what I mean? So like, and the thing is, the way these witches and warlords be working is they don't have no courage. So you're not gonna always know where it's coming from. That's the annoying thing is it's like my thing is like I've always been a being like if I got an issue with somebody, I'll let you know. If I don't let you know, I'll stay away from you. But you won't catch me poisoning your food, stabbing you in the back, or doing any of those things. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm one of them beings like if I got an issue with you, I'm gonna stab you in the chest where you can see it coming. I'm gonna punch you in the face where you can see it coming. These other beings don't. They don't operate the same way. So when you are having your life put at risk, you know what I mean, and you aren't aware of what the hell is going on, it puts you in a state of understanding, all right, well, I have to put all my trust and faith into the Most High, into the Creator. Because the more you spend your energy trying to focus on where all these weird attacks coming from, the more it's gonna drive you down the wrong avenue. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where they trying to place us all at. And man, outside advice is always good, man. It's always good outside advice. So even if it's like unwarranted advice, you can always still learn something from it. But Once you are getting an enormous amount of pressure and attacks, that's when your place goes to that mind state of paranoia or not trusting a single soul that you're around, constantly looking out your windows, looking over your shoulder, looking around the corner, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the places they want to get us in to a small degree because they really want to destroy us. So that's just like almost like a stepping stone to the whole process, you know what I mean? So like as far as we are in this universe and in this realm, like we all understand that everything is vibration, energy, and frequency. So the people who still vibrating as if like that shit doesn't matter, you have to know that these beings are intentionally out to kill you, to harm you, to hurt you, to destroy you. Like the shit that I've been experiencing these past couple weeks, and really like the past week or two is when it's really been hitting hard. Y'all see, I haven't even had as much content up because I've been trying to keep my energy protected and shielded and then properly plan certain things because this is secondary to real life. You know what I mean? So you can come up here and anybody can come up here and do all this all day, every day. You know what I mean? But you still got to face reality. Your reality, which is wherever you at. If you in the Western society, you are at war. You know what I mean? And if the beings around you don't comprehend these things, then that means they're choosing not to comprehend these things and they're choosing to be oppositional. So that's been one of the biggest things for me because it's like I've been battling for a long time. But what happens is it's like you're at a brink when you feel yourself becoming more chaotic. If you're not a chaotic being, you will find yourself being more chaotic on the inside. You may not be walking a chaotic life, but your thought process, everything that's happening internally from within is more chaotic. You feel more paranoid, you feel more anxiety. All these word spells that I be saying is bullshit. That's the shit that starts sticking and start working. These spells that they cast. That's why I be saying it's important to remove these things because it's like even if you remove it, it's still a slim chance and a percentage that it can be reattached to you. Kind of like what they do with these quote unquote things. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get a little bit, then it's less likely that you'll get it back, but you can get it back and blah 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 and all these other things. You know what I mean? But the attacks are real. You have to understand the difference between smoking too much or drinking too much, self-sabotaging yourself, and then, people slandering you, creating lies, just doing all the most evilest things that they can possibly do to harm you and the beings around you. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like it comes with the territory. It does come with the territory. And when I process it, it's like, Big Brother wants you to listen. The whole system, everybody wants this to be listening and to be complacent in the process and all these things, you know what I mean? But it's like, you really don't, even if you do be complacent and listen, you're still going to be miserable on the inside. So it's really no other way around it. So it's like, when people are communicating with you, right? Like this, because it's a lot of us that's on this road and this route to kind of just be better, do better, operate on a better vibration and frequency. But then you have other beings who communicate with you and they'll be using like the masses or other people as like a legitimate excuse or reasoning. And most of us already understand if the masses are saying it, then 10 times out of 10, you should probably step the fuck back or step away. You know what I mean? So in layman's terms, it's like communicating with somebody and they be like, yeah, well, I talked to such and such and such and such said this, and I talked to that person said this and that. And then if you think about any of the things that those beings are doing that they mention, all these people that they talk to, they are the masses. They are the masses. So if you got to check with 10, 15, 20 other people, that means you are the masses, So that means you are co-conspiring to harm and hurt other beings as well too. It's just a weird process in a space to be in, but it does take a lot of courage, it does take a lot of knowledge, it does take a lot of understanding, and it takes a lot of awareness. It takes a lot of awareness. this, because it's a difference between you knowing you locked your door and then every day you wake up and your door is unlocked. You know what I mean? So that kind of thing, let alone even somebody attempting to play that game with you or another entity attempting to do that with you, is distorting your reality from within. You know what I mean? So it's like I take all these things into account and factoring into everything in life in general. You know what I mean? But the attacks are real, and they not always going to come from the beings who are far out. It's not always going to come from Bill Gates or like Hillary Clinton or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to come from right around the corner. It's going to come from right from within your house. It's going to be right up in your face. It's going to be right up under your nose. You know what I mean? And I think that's probably like why it is kind of, because I look at everything on a percentage scale. So I feel like that's why it is pretty hurtful and harmful, is because we want to trust. It's not like we going out here and we don't want to trust beings. We don't want to trust the people we letting in there. That's stupid as hell. Why would I let you in near me and then I don't want to trust you? That's dumb as hell. If I'm letting you in my space or I'm putting my space in your space, that means I want to trust you. Now, depending on how many chances and opportunities is in between there, that just varies, with any kind of ingredients or situation. But you already know every cake take the same base ingredient. So every situation, depending on what it is gonna have a base ingredient to it. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of these things are like important because like shit is hitting harder, it is getting realer, and it's just gonna keep getting realer. It's like you don't have to wait until it happens to you or beside you for you to be aware and take initiative to do something different. You know what I mean? So I never been the one that want to sit around and wait for something else to happen to the people beside me and then be like, oh damn, I should have did something. It's like if I have the knowledge and understanding now, I could take the steps now to kind of start building or trying to prevent something from happening. Hey, much love to the UK, you know what I'm saying? We all out here. The Western world is everywhere. So that's what I be telling people. Wherever the machine base is at, it's set up there. It's set up there. So there's no way in hell that all of our situations are correlating and corresponding together, and then all of us are just the ones who don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. If what we're saying is all bullshit, then none of this would be equating. You wouldn't have all these different circumstances and situations all over the world going hand to hand together. You know what I mean? So clearly, it's wherever daddy is at, they setting up their structure and their system, and then you got the ones who's being suppressed, who's cool with it, and then the ones who's being suppressed who are not cool with it. You know what I mean? So if you in the Western society anywhere, you gonna have a good piece of this cake. You know what I mean? It ain't really no ducking or avoiding it. It's just depending on where you want to stand at. Some people just want to make a couple dollars so they can go on vacations and take trips. You know what I'm saying? Me and I know other beings who think like-minded. We want to do more. We want to help more people. We want to build more of a better community, something more where people can kind of gravitate towards. Where it's kind of like how people got applications that you go to for jobs. If you build a community, it's the same way, except instead of judging people by what's on paper, you judge them by the energy from the intent. You judge everything. It would have to be a whole process as far as assessing each being before allowing certain entities to try to manipulate their way into a community if that was going to be the case. But there's other ways of going about things to making sure people legit and organic. You know what I mean? So, but you got a lot of people who play by the other playbook, and they're very good at utilizing that to kind of make your inner space do this. You know what I mean? So in order to keep your inner space from doing this, you have to literally focus on you. You literally have to think about something that's better for you, something that you've accomplished, something that you overcame. Is usually all of these steps that you got to do when they trying to put you in that damn space. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it'd be like, yo, like, you only got a couple more years of all of us not fully comprehending that, hey, that shit is witchy. We telling you the energy comes first, okay? So you should be more better with your intentions when you're communicating and doing things and operating with other beings. like a lot of us is really burnt out over it. Like, yeah, we kind of a little paranoid and we got little things, and some of these spells be working sometimes, but they have to attack a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. You gotta realize how much they gotta attack. Like, they've been beating me the fuck down. I still been trying to get back up as much as I can consistently. So I know the other beings that's in this space is doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, if it was a much easier process, I would have been up here doing all these live streams a while ago, but it's always some little tweaks. That's just from the big brother daddy. I like speaking from siblings that's beside us. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got mom, dad, spouses. That's the ones we can touch and affect. Those the ones that touch and affect us. They affect us just as much as we affect them. So it's just the hard part is just looking at people and knowing that they tried to harm you intentionally. You know what I mean? Like, you gave somebody your hand, you know what I mean? You like, you didn't have much else to offer, but you like, here, I got a hand. Like, boom, take that. And then they grab your hand, they pull you close, and they start knifing you. And you like, oh shit, like, you wasn't expecting it. Now you fighting, trying to destroy them because they over here trying to take you out, and that wasn't even your intentions. You could step on somebody's foot in the club and they feel like you sought them out throughout the club and decided to pick their damn shoe to step on, so now they're taking it intentionally. How retarded is that? Clearly it wasn't intentional. We in a club, nigga, and I just accidentally stepped walking through. My bad. If it's more of an issue, then we can take care of it. But that was not intentional. These other beings are walking around in the club looking for the best shoes to go step on. They have their cell phone light aimed down at the floor. They looking at all kind of spilled drinks, cups, bottles, cigarette butts, all looking for the best shoes to step on. You know what I mean? Like, I can smile, make it light, but the shit is serious. You know what I mean? Like, the shit is serious. When you are having your life threatened, the shit is serious. You know what I'm saying? When you got other beings, even your little people around you being threatened, it is serious. It's serious. It's serious. Like, I couldn't even put more emphasis on it opposed from it's serious, you know. I'm a being that never would harm myself, so if anything ever happened to me, y'all already gotta know it's some outside forces that's vibing some shit, you know what I'm saying? But outside of that, it's like, we gotta stay 10 toes, you know. Old shoes anymore, I feel the nice ones. I know, facts. Fuck the, don't nobody need to keep shopping. The system is shutting down. Like, people are still being concerned with shopping and being fly and all this other shit. Like, this shit is crashing out. It's just showing how burnt out some other motherfuckers are too, that they gotta still be concerned with shopping and doing all of these things. Like, if I gotta have 2 shitty summers to have 5 amazing summers, I'm willing to put myself through 2 shitty summers to have 5 amazing summers. You know what I mean? That's the kind of space that we should be in. And I know, peace, peace, family. And man, much love to everybody that's been consistent with me, man, and just with the vibes in general. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know none of this process out here is easy. It's not easy finding this content. It's not easy even walking in this space. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate all the love and support from everybody that's been tapped in since day one. And salute to all the new, you know, subscribers that's been vibing and tapping in too. You know what I'm saying? We all learning and growing together. So if somebody feel like they on a higher upper echelon, then just know that it's always somebody else that's higher. You know what I mean? Like, I done been through a lot of different transitions, you know, and I keep trying different things, and whether they not working out the best and some do and some don't, we have to keep trying, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if you ain't out here trying to explore the unknown realm to build a better version of yourself, then try to find somebody else that will lead you, you know what I'm saying? So that way you don't have to think and process that much. You're like, all right, well, cool. I don't like figuring out all this other stuff, you know, Pythagorean theorem. I would rather just somebody show me, and then we can do it together as a team from there. You know what I'm saying? What's up? What's up? So, you know, find a great leader, even if you don't know. And, you know, in the way today's society is set up, you know, all the best leaders isn't always going to have the best money in the world. They not always going to have all the money. The best leaders is not always going to have all the money. You cannot talk about Jesus and then talk about money. When you talking about Jesus, which I know I love all cultures. I don't lean one way or another, but I know it's a lot of Christians in the Western society. So, you know, Jesus wasn't running around saying, hey, you gotta have the biggest bag in the world. You know what I mean? So y'all got to get out of that concept alone, thinking that okay, well, he's not believable because he don't have all the money. I mean, you got to work harder at breaking the spells down yourself. Yes, we all need money to survive, but we all know that we still can live and survive without the money. You just have to live outside of the normal means of how we see everybody else doing it in today's society. You know what I mean? So shit is real. Shit is real, and shit is going to continue to get realer. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure the people that's beside you is riding for you. Riding for you. A lot of beings don't know anything about that. They don't know anything about being loyal to somebody. They don't know anything about riding for somebody. A lot of beings is like, hey, well, if you don't listen to me and I cannot control you, that means you're not loyal to me, or that means that I don't have to be loyal to you, which is fucking weird because if you aren't being a loyal being to them, that means you aren't being loyal to yourself. So the whole time you're looking outside of you to point the finger when really you got to point it at yourself. You know what I mean? And all of us gets to that place sometimes to where you're under so much attacks you have to point outside of yourself, but we also know what we have to be accountable for. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't change anything. And that's where we at right now in society, where people are attacking and they want you to think that it's self-sabotage. And you have to understand that it is not self-sabotage if somebody pulls out a gun and decides to blame you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't say, hey, yeah, shoot me. I'd like to move on today right now. You know what I'm saying? And even kindness, you kill them with kindness, they're gonna kill you with some hatred. So it just all varies on the situation and the circumstance. You know what I'm saying? So we all know the playbook that they use. So once you know the playbook someone uses, you have to understand that they are willing to go to any lengths, and any lengths is it should not be to infinity and beyond. So like, if I know this being right here in my past used this playbook, and I know the extremes that they go, and that's the playbook that the system uses, and I know the extremes that they go, then I know that if I meet somebody else and they use any of these pages, and if they like aren't aware, that's one thing. But if they're aware and they're doing it, you already know where to place them at. It's not but so much juking around we're gonna be able to do out here. You know what I mean? So like, a lot of people are more focused on selfish needs opposed from building. And then the ones that say they are focused on building, it's hard to even tell because it's like you gotta get to all the money out here. Clearly, and you just heard me say that Jesus didn't walk in all the money. So that's where the catch-22 comes in, that we're just trying to understand this damn war out here and how these attacks are happening so rapidly and consistently to all of us. To all of us. It's weird to me that I could process and simultaneously, like, I'm getting attacked with some witchy stuff over here, and somebody else who's tapped in is going through the same process. Like, if we was all flowing in a much better, man, I follow the creator, you know, that's who I follow. You know, I don't knock anybody for any books or any other religions that they follow. That's like me going over to China knocking somebody for their religion. That's stupid. I wouldn't do it. So just because I'm in the Western society and it's a mixed culture don't mean that I'm gonna do it here. I mean, it's that simple. I wouldn't go to China and say, hey, fuck your culture. You need to do this and believe this and blah, 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 because this is what it is. I don't care. I don't care about none of that. We need warriors. We need fighters. I don't care about none of that. If that's what you need to go to battle, cool, nigga, I'm riding with you. That's how I feel. I'm riding with you. I don't give a fuck what book you use, and if that make you feel better, cool. Some people fly planes and like to blow shit up, and some people are on the ground with guns. Some people are in the water with submarines. Y'all gotta understand, we warriors. Y'all stop trying to put everybody in the same damn field. Sumo wrestling is not the same thing as regular wrestling or MMA wrestling or boxing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go to no other country and tell them they shit is wrong. They riding and vibing and they light is lit. So I'm gonna vibe with them too. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that's vibing with the creator, all the all the medians always meet anyways. It's not like the Muslim and the Christian and the Buddhism, they don't have a meeting paradigm somewhere. They all meet. They all meet. They all have a meeting paradigm. Where they don't meet at is when you have the witchy shit over here talking and all distorted, and then it doesn't meet up with the creator over here. It leaves you in confusion and fucking chaos over here. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. A lot of people just gotta understand, like, we just look this way. If you don't want to value the substance, then cool. You ain't gotta value the substance. You know what I'm saying? It's just our job to make sure we putting it up there. Yeah, I don't blame you if you unsubscribe to some religions. I was raised in a Christian Baptist, you know what I'm saying? But I don't knock them either. In my process, when I was growing out of that space, when you're growing out of that space, you want to be mad for being falsely led, you know what I'm saying? But once you get out of that space and you become more intelligent than where you was at, then you understand, that doesn't even matter. All right, boom. We all still, long as you are taking that on for the same cause, I can fuck with you. But if you taking that on for manipulation and other weird things, then I cannot vibe with you. I won't put that over there with the rest of everything else that's flowing, you know what I mean? So that's just how this thing is set up, man. It is set up to break you down. It is set up, and it did take that experience to make me so. I gotta appreciate. Yeah, you got to, and that's much respect. You know, we got to. We got to. I would never put past, taking those little seeds that was implanted when I was there, opposed from now. You know what I'm saying? Because it probably would have took me a little bit longer to get to the space if I didn't have those seeds planted. That gave me some wiggle room in the spiritual realm to work with. It's like, oh, okay, this doesn't feel weird. Let me wiggle this around. Let me put this over here. It's kind of like one of them cubes that you put in the colors together. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just threw a box in here, and I'm like, let me figure this out. You know what I'm saying? That's like what a lot of us do. You know what I mean? But yeah, the attacks are real. We know that we do self-sabotage, and we do have these things happen to us. But you are not solely accountable for the things that other people are going out their way to do to you. It's so bad to the point to where it's like some people focus months, days, hours, years at a time on you in the most unhealthy manner. They focus their energy on you in the most unhealthy manner. They focus their energy on you in the most unhealthy manner. It's just mind blowing, and it hurts my spirit even saying that, because like even some of the people, like if you're being and you close to me, I could never put you in that space because I'm still next to you. So for me to hate you, that means that I have to hate myself, and I don't hate myself. So that means if we having some friction, that just means, nigga, we got some regular ass friction that we can figure out how to work through it. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, it's like, nah, I wouldn't be living with you, sleeping next to you, rooming, or traveling with you, doing any of these things if I hated you, if I had any hatred in my heart, any hatred in my heart for any of these beings that's been close to me. You know what I mean? Because that's where we get the impacted the most at, is the ones close to us. The neighbors matter, but fuck the neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Because they are less impactful. The ones immediately to you are more impactful. Like I said, everything is on a percentage scale. The ones closer to you are going to be more impactful, like 80%. The neighbors is going to be more like 30 to 40%. You know what I'm saying? So everything is on a percentage scale. One of the things that I heard regarding this, that I keep wondering about this, that when the CERN is crazy, but that's not even the big issue. Once again, that got you thinking about some 3D foreign object somewhere else, when you have your neighbors, your family, your spouses, and everybody else around you that's taking care of what the CERN is not doing. I done researched into all of that shit, and at the end of the day, what comes first is what the fuck is in here. What is in here? It doesn't matter. Even if I say, oh, I'm an Aborigine, I'm not from Africa, that doesn't fucking matter. Because if the world shut down right now, it matters what we are doing right now and where the fuck we are going. Simple. It's a hard battle and it's a hard war, but it's a simple process. It's simple. It's just hard as fuck. I ain't even gonna lie, it's hard as fuck. It's simple, but it's hard as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely, man. So we gotta just make sure we doing better for the ones that do show that they care and they are giving real genuine intentions, you know what I'm saying, and real love, in order to give real love, they have to love themselves. So a lot of beings aren't even loving themselves to be able to give that love to you. You know what I mean? So it's like you shouldn't have to have all the money in the world to build and grind with somebody. You know what I'm saying? You should be able, if the system shut down, you should still be able to do these things. That's where my process is always at, because if you don't process things that way, then you're constantly dependent on them on all levels. We already depend on the system for enough shit. So if you can minimize some of the things that you are codependent on them for, it'll be helpful. You know, how the hell you gonna work on all the stuff you gotta work on with you and fix all some of the traumas that you done been through and all the witchy shit from your family and all the beings that was in your space? How you gonna work on without getting some of that stuff figured out? You gotta get some of that stuff figured out. Yes, minimize the dependency for self-sufficiency. That's right. You know what I'm saying? The hardest part about that is, though, is some of us want to do it the natural, organic way, which is with a team, with somebody. But this shit is so witchy, it's making you feel like, oh, I'm doing it all by myself. Even though we know we aren't, this is the space it put us in. It put us in this space. I don't want to fucking have to run around how to build a website, even though I figured this shit out. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of things. When I bump into people, I try to figure out, hey, where can I implant myself into your realm at? If it's not chaotic. Because when I dive into people's realms, if it's chaotic, confusion, high anxiety, all of that shit, I try to jump the fuck out of it. And I will not go in their world spiritually unless it's like a quick dive in to help them with something. But they have to come into my world. I will be an asshole to the day I die because I do not want to go jump and swim and ponder in somebody else's chaotic space that they got. You should be trying to get yourself out of there. When my daughter come around, if I'm in my world and she pulls me into her world, I can jump into her world because she's exciting, she's fun, she's loving, she always got something new she's showing me. Like, her fun is just so much unknown, full of life excitement. But then you got grown ass adults, you know what I'm saying, and you look at them and you like, oh shit, I do not want to go in their inner space. How the fuck do I block this off? How do I block it, block it, block it, block it? You know what I'm saying? It's just like you could tell that the space that they in is just like not the most welcoming. It is not the most welcoming. She hasn't lost her sense of wonder or intuition in terms of being in tune with herself and with the spiritual world. No, because she's actually being able to stay more in tune because she's not getting shifted. She got somebody validating her. The other side, they believe in Christmas and blah, 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 blah. All that witchy shit. You know what I'm saying? But at least for me over here, she get validation. It's like, yeah, that shit you feeling is real. Yeah, she bought you a bunch of shit, but then, you know, she had your energy all weird, scared, and chaotic on the inside to the point to where you sitting there looking at mommy like you don't even want to speak without checking her temperature first. You know what I mean? Just all that kind of weird shit. But at least she does have an understanding of it, and that is her battle because I signed her up for it. Much love, much love. You know, we about this war right now, though. The looks of shit be secondary for the men. We are about this war. We about getting dirty. I know it's a different society right now. And what's crazy is in the Western society, it's so weird and witchy to where you could be in a situation where the woman is making more money than the man. But the thing is, even if that's the case, the man has to be on purpose. You have to be on purpose. You know what I mean? So that way you can kind of get the dynamic switch back around. You know what I mean? But we already understand that that's the way this shit is right now. So like every man ain't looking at it like, hey, I want to get the $1,000,000 and then I'll grab somebody. Cause for some of us, we like, shit, bitch, you ain't been around the build. I could probably care less about you when I get there. Build with a nigga from the ground up. You know what I mean? Like, let's create some substance together. What is wrong with the substance? If I see another motherfucker pull up in these positions before I was born. Why do they think we keep stepping into these fucking positions? Clearly, it is more substance here. Clearly, it is more you get to ride for, more you get to value. You know, just you not in as much of a suffering state. Yeah, we go through hard shit, but that don't mean we suffering. Some of these beings, they've been suffering for years on years on years, and they may get 1 day or 2 days of a break. For us, it's the opposite. We live, and then we may have a month of some hard time or a couple weeks of some hard time, nigga. Then shit, we right back to living. That's the complete opposite, you know what I mean? So like, they don't get to be this joyful and fruitful, you know what I mean? Like, when you got people who still be hanging on and shit, like, when you're clearly trying to make amends, get some clarity, some understanding or something, they just being as hard as they possibly can be. And then the thing that they like to emphasize, the other team, is it has to do with listen. Oh, you don't listen, you don't want to listen, you don't want to listen. Oh, you don't hear me. And it's like, I went to the courts. I took on a female judge, a female lawyer, and then my female BM, and we had a female guardian ad litem. I was one nigga in the courtroom with 4 women. If these 4 women can jump up on me, you got to believe that if you were riding a lower vibration or frequency, it is not gonna have the same effect. So you're gonna have to take different extreme measures, because I stood solid in a lot of fucking front of other beings who be crumbling and fumbling and bumbling. And I ain't saying I did the best, but you don't grow until you put yourself in positions to learn. Simple process. Like, it's either you gonna force yourself into a position or the system is gonna force you into a position. So it's which one you want to do. It's your choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, pick your poison. Do you want Trump or do you want Hillary? Left wing, right wing, same bird. God damn it! How about we just get rid of the bird and get a turtle or something like? That's how I be feeling. I'm like, hey, these niggas out here tripping. Yeah, the right wing, the leftist. I'm like, I don't. Let's get a snail. The snail is a lot more patient. It's slower. It's less harmful. Hey, people always want to be the most dangerous animal character. You know what I'm saying? Like, be some loving, goddammit. Like, shit, I could be a geese. Like, they still pretty brolic. They fucking like to flock and live together. You know what I'm saying? They vibey. You know what I'm saying? But they not the scariest creatures in the world, but they get a lot of fucking respect. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to be part of the skies and get no respect. They gotta put some motherfucking respect on your name once you in them skies. Why we think the birds get the fucking ascend the way we do, or the way they do? You know what I'm saying? Just like, once you're able to dive deeper on a lot of these things, like, it changes. It changes a lot. The hardest things the birds really got to manage is being down on the ground trying to get food and things, you know what I'm saying? Outside of everything else, they can plant themselves the fuck away from everybody. Everybody. With all the confusion, our entities looking for pushovers. Yes, nah, they ain't. It's not a pushover. They looking to destroy you and kill you. The way these attacks was hitting me this past week, I was sitting back like, damn. I was debating on if I was gonna tap out. To be honest, like, in my spirit world, I didn't say it out loud. I was just like, yo, they fucking me up right now. I couldn't do nothing but acknowledge it. Like, you would be stupid to just try not to acknowledge it. Like, if my daughter was sitting there and slapped me in the face, I'm like, well, yeah, I'm gonna keep talking and make it seem like she not slapped. No, we aren't retarded over here. We are very knowledgeable and understanding of what the fuck is going on out here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it is real and it is going down. You know what I mean? So, if you aren't preparing yourself and you ain't ready to kind of like look at the beings that's close to you as doing shit intentionally to you, then you gonna have a longer, harder battle. You know what I mean? And what's crazy is, like, it usually when it's almost at the brinks of the last minute, last second, that's when you're gonna realize, because usually that blow is usually an extremely hard blow because they already been working on you from numerous other attacks. And what I realized in my situation is that Some of the beings beside me and entities, they don't have to attack or work as hard because all they have to do is kind of ride or vibe like my BM or somebody else's witchy energy who's constantly attacking me. So in that way, they don't have to actually do the work. All they have to do is co-sign. Yeah. That motherfucker being disgusting. I'm gonna co-sign right here on the line, and then I'm gonna go cook this nigga dinner real quick. Cause I didn't do it, but I'm gonna co-sign. Like that's some demonic ass shit to do. Like you don't have to be the shooter to get charged. That's what a lot of people be keep getting fucked up. Like, hey man, hey look. If I seen a nigga getting wrecked over there, you know what I'm saying? Like my spirit naturally. First of all, it depends on where and what's happening. If it's like a club or something, then you gotta eat that these demon hours. None of us should be out right now. That's how I feel. You gotta take that ass whooping. But if it's daytime or something, I don't know what's going on. My spirit naturally is gonna want to go over there and try to jump in and help or do something in that manner to kind of gauge. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't take that time to be like, oh, I remember that nigga Trey. Yeah, I'm about to go stomp his ass out with the other nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like my spirit doesn't operate in that manner. Like I could play pretty rough, but it's fair rough. I can be pretty hard, but it's gonna be fair hard. We can go gun for gun, bullet for bullet, but it is fair. I'm like them old Western movies. Like, I'm not gonna shoot you in the back. We're gonna take our little pace steps, nigga, and whoever turn around faster. Like, I can live with that, or I can move on to my next journey and be in peace with that. But as far as just going around stabbing people in the back and shooting people and poisoning people, especially like people who I'm pretending to help, you know what I'm saying? That's the worst. You're in a space and you like you giving somebody a ride, you giving them finances, you giving them all these things, but then you're doing it, but your intentions are still evil behind it. Why would I give somebody a place, give them finances, but I'm still stabbing them in the fucking back and I'm shooting them in the face every day? I'm waking up in disgusting energy, but I'm telling them, hey, I gave you money. I gave you a roof over your head. But you gotta work 50 times harder to fix this motherfucker's energy. And that's not even accounting for the energy space that you're in. You just came back to this realm and woke up too. You already got a routine. Oh shit, I like to do this right here to fix my energy before all these weird attacks and all this weird shit start happening. You know what I'm saying? But then it's them, they just and if they not, that's how it looks and feels in the inside. I don't know if y'all caught that facial expression. Hey, but Freddy Krueger was a great movie because that is literally them on the inside out. So that's how I always pictured these beings. That's how I always, when they start doing these little subtle tactics, I have to put them at the most extreme measures. They start doing little subtle tactics from this playbook. Bitch, if you using chapter 1, I'm gonna assume you gonna learn about chapter 150, chapter 200, because you still in that damn book. You want to debate and argue with me, and I'm telling you, hey, that's the wrong fucking book. You could use this book if you want to go to a better space when you leave here. If you ain't concerned with that, cool, keep using that. You clearly see that you're suffering, you're miserable, you're waking up shitty, you're doing like little materialistic things to kind of make the day go by. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this shit get real out here, y'all. This shit get real, and you have to keep yourself safe. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep yourself protected at all costs. So just be aware of the situations that you in. Just be aware of the beings that's around you. You know what I'm saying? Be aware of which chapter the beings are on around you, because some of the beings around you may not even be on chapter 150, so they only on chapter 2 or 3, so it's easy for you to kind of wiggle around their witchiness because they haven't learned the other tactics yet. But you have to understand that they have that playbook, and they will get there. They will. They will, because they should be fighting to throw that shit in the trash. That playbook is like, that old witch movie, it's a bunch of them where people or witchcraft movies where people are trying to throw spell books away, but they keep reappearing in the house or popping up out the trash can. That's what those books are. That's what that playbook is that they're using. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't want to run up too long. We've been going, you know what I'm saying? And they actually let me live for once. Damn, them niggas let me live. They let me live. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate all the support. Y'all don't even understand, like, even if I don't engage with y'all, y'all are still sending me energy that is received. I just want y'all to know that, like, that energy is received that y'all do send. I know I'm not the most engaging because it's just so many attacks going on right now. I just try to keep myself out of going into that paranoid state, you know, trying not to allow that spell to take over me. But y'all energy is received, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all get some from me or from other tubers who out here, you know what I'm saying? But vice versa. Vice versa. When I got all these obstacles going on, I know that I got other beings out here that need the help just as much. You know what I'm saying? Even with me even having to build stuff up within to get to a space to just like, all right, I know you are getting attacked, but you still got to get this out. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't about the dollar for me, clearly, because I could have been still doing regular Tatiana trying to get to the music producers and other artist avenues that way. You know what I mean? But I'd rather leave more of an impact. I'd rather help more people. You know what I'm saying? Or at least put enough tools down there for beings to help themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have the tools there for me. I had to figure out. I had to go through the haystack. I had to start digging. I had to hit myself with a couple needles. You know what I'm saying? Get some blisters, some blood. I had to go through all that process to realize, all right, boom, I got some of these tools on. Now I'm ready to share. It's like, damn, I already went through all the war wounds. You see all this blood and shit on my fingers? Like, been waiting for uploads. Yeah, I know, man. The attacks have been serious, man. Like, I don't even want to like do too much because I know they probably still tapped in, watching and listening. So it's like the extreme lengths that people are willing to go to lie, to make shit up, to just do things. It becomes a little scary considering the system is in charge and you just cannot wipe them off the fucking face of the earth the way it would be much easier. Cause I'm not running around being sneaky. You know what I'm saying? If I got a problem with you, I stay over on this side of the street unless it's that serious. And then I'll come onto that side of the street and I'll see what's up. You know what I'm saying? But I stay out the way they look. All the smoke is welcome. All the smoke has been coming. I'm just saying, like, all the smoke has been catching up. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I know I signed up for it. I'm just saying them niggas been throwing blows and they been landing. Cause some people make it seem that they bring me back. They brought me back to life. They brought me. Hey, soon as I mentioned something about it, they knocked me out the way. It's what they do. That's why I wasn't even gonna say anything about it. You know what I'm saying? But this is it's what we doing it for right here. You know what I mean? I was over here kind of locked off for a minute, and she was kind of getting a little sleepy. I was like, all right. Since he gave us a little intermission. I know as soon as I said something, that's what it does. But I was just saying, man, I definitely appreciate all of y'all and the love, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna keep fighting. You know what's up. Hey, what's up, big girl? We've been learning a lot. We've been doing a lot, you know what I'm saying? She been being pretty patient with me over here, so.
When I closed my eyes for a second, I had a little travel about me, like somebody about to stab me with a knife.
What? You see the crazy travels? That's what happens when they removed out the way. You know, I appreciate it. Yeah, the crazy travels. But with me being here and the way the time is being segregated and shit, and it's just like you just have to understand that Daddy is always fighting for you. I tell her this all the time. I love you more than life. I love you more than life, and I'm always here with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what's going on. And whenever you having a weak moment, just know that I'm still sending you some energy. We gotta understand how spiritually equipped we are, you know what I mean? And start getting back to believing in ourselves and just connecting more on a deeper root, you know what I mean? So, but I ain't want to run it up too long. They let me live for a little bit, so I'm actually trying to close one out because they've been shutting my shit down before I can close out. And as y'all can see, I use my words freely because it's other words that people harm themselves over. You know what I mean? So we do a good job at going over words, the meanings, the spells, all of these little things that be happening. You know, so it depends on your intentions and how much work you actually putting in with yours. You know what I'm saying? The same way they said only these big 5 words are cursed. It's a lot of words that's cursed. You know what I'm saying? And that has I have to deal more with why her skin is brown, and then some of the other people at her schools is more of the other color. So it's other things that go into account that people hurt themselves over. You know what I'm saying? So. But I ain't want to run it up too long, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate all the love and support from everybody down there, you know what I'm saying? Big James
Alright.
McCoy, we got Winifred. Who we got in here? You know what I'm saying? We got Amaru, we got Mark Loco. We got some people that's been with us for a long time. King Hazy, okay, Oglio. We got Stephen the Pigeon. Man,
Steven the
I
Pigeon.
appreciate y'all, man. Prince Way, Andre. Man, it's a lot of y'all. It's a lot of y'all. I'm gonna have to do some things where I can kind of give some shout outs to a lot of my beings that have been riding since day one. Not saying that the new ones aren't important, but the ones who've been riding since day one, y'all have been down the roller coaster with a man. And I appreciate
Yes.
you, you know what I'm saying? So, y'all just tap into everything down below. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep doing this and we're gonna stick with this consistently.
Oh, somebody just.
Peace and love. Hey.